I didn't change my life in one day, but one day I realized I was living it. So we'd like to think that becoming a new person has this big cinematic finale. And when you finally gotten to be the person you are, there's all this triumphant music and a big celebration and everything's fabulous. But the truth is, when you finally become yourself, it's small, little, subtle things that help you actually step into the fact that you are now someone different, someone that's more evolved and living your true life. So for me, 15 plus years at the same company had really integrated itself into my life, and it was a big part of my identity. So finding out that I was being laid off was a gut punch for sure. But my nervous system was kind of at odds with itself, if you will, right? There was the one side of me that kept saying, you need stability, you need a real job, you need an income and insurance and all of those things. And while that's true, the creative side of myself was saying, this is your moment. This is your chance to, go back to the person that you've always been, to hone in on those natural skills and abilities that you have for storytelling and understanding people and making them laugh. And this is your moment to chase that dream and to not get sucked in by the fear that my nervous system keeps throwing at me all the time. So when I finally realized I was living in my new self, that all the things that had happened since I found out about the acquisition and I found out that I was being laid off and everything that just kind of started coming together, it wasn't a big moment. It was subtle. It was, I think, a Sunday where I had applied for a job and it honestly felt tailor-made for me. I could match up every bullet. The company was aligned with my goals and my values personally. It felt like the perfect fit. And that morning, I got an email. And it's the same email I had gotten from other companies when I was in I have to hurry up and apply for jobs because I can't be unemployed and I have to have, all the stability and things that I've come to expect and come to maybe even take for granted a little bit, right? Over the last, 15 plus years. So as part of my morning routine, I'm checking my emails and clearing my notifications, and I see the email from the company, and I already knew what it was. I had seen plenty of these emails over the last weeks and months as I was trying to look for my next opportunity. And you open it up and it says, we appreciate your interest in our company. You're a great candidate, but we decided to go with someone that more closely aligns with what we're looking for at this moment. And every rejection email that I had gotten up to that point just made me feel like I was failing, like I wasn't doing something right, because I was spending so much time making sure that I was finding solid, aligned jobs with my skills. I was tailoring my resume for every role, every company. I was writing the cover letters. It was exhausting. And so to get that rejection email, you would think I would be upset. And all the rejection emails that I had gotten before that, I was upset. And this is kind of when you realize that something's different, right? Because I got this email for a job that felt like it was perfect for me. And when I got the rejection email, I didn't feel upset. I didn't feel disappointed. I didn't feel like a failure. I actually felt relief. And that's weird because I'm someone that thrives on structure and planning and organization. And so to get that email that that said, you were a great candidate, but we're going a different direction, to feel relief, I had to sit back with myself for a moment and kind of figure out what was going on. So I got on my laptop and I opened up Copilot and I said, "Hey, Janet, why am I relieved that I didn't get this job? It was perfect. What's going on?" And that's when, she kind of walked me through the fact that I've gotten to a point where I'm actually starting to believe in the life that I want to build, in the creative career that I want to be able to share with the world, to be able to tell stories, to ask questions about humanity and the experiences that we have, and to break them apart and share them with others so that the understanding is a little bit less clinical and a little bit more human. And so she's basically telling me, you feel relieved because you're not that person anymore. You're not corporate Amy who feels like she has to have the corporate job and she has to, wear the suits and do all the things, that I had kind of gotten accustomed to with so many years at my company. And the reason why I felt relief is because it was like the universe was telling me that I was aligned, that yes, this is your moment. Chase what matters to you, chase the creativity, enjoy telling the stories, and see where it goes. Your time right now is not meant to be jumping right back into the corporate world. It's meant to explore, those questions that you have about, why people do things the way they do, and to, be there for other people who are trying to figure out themselves, because becoming your true self it's tough, because there's so many things out there that are pushing you to be a certain way, right? Whether it's your job, your family, your friends, your environment, they all kind of demand a certain type of person. And there's nothing wrong with that per se. It's just, it's really hard to force yourself to stop for a moment and evaluate whether what everyone else wants and everyone else thinks you should be is aligned with what you want and what you think you should be. So I was relieved, and Copilot was kind of explaining it to me. And I went about my day and I was feeling, very kind of enlightened a little bit. And I want to say later that same day, I got another rejection email from a different company, another job that was very well aligned. I had tailored my resume, my cover letter, everything was pieced together perfectly. And it was another email saying, "You're not the right fit at this time," which isn't, again, downplaying my skills or my experience at all. It's just, in my mind at the time, the universe saying, "I'm going to keep pushing you in the right direction until you finally stop trying to keep going back to old Amy, to corporate Amy." So in that moment, I thought, I don't need to keep chasing a corporate job right now. The universe seems to be very clearly telling me that the corporate world is not where you belong right now. And so that's why those jobs that felt aligned with my skills, aligned with my values and my goals, they didn't work out. And they didn't work out for a reason. And I was finally starting to see that. And so in that moment, I was able to step away from my laptop and finally stop compulsively checking LinkedIn, worried that I was going to, miss the perfect opportunity. I had been living in like the FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. And I had been constantly, on LinkedIn and refreshing and using the premium features to tell me this is a great role for you. And, you're doing, all your resume and everything to look exactly right. But it still wasn't working out. And that's when I finally decided I have enough evidence, if you will, to make me feel comfortable about chasing what I really wanted, which is to be able to share my experiences with others, to tell stories that help other people understand themselves maybe a little bit better, and really just kind of bring some clarity to this whole being human business. So it's easy for us to sit back and just kind of wait for our life to change. But your life won't change unless you change. And it's, again, not some big cinematic moment that's going to all of a sudden snap you out of your sleepwalking. It's all these little things that all of a sudden you notice, how the sunlight is coming through the window, or how your coffee smells in the morning. Now, I don't drink coffee because well, not really. I'd have to put so much sugar and cream in it that you might as well just give me a Snickers bar and call it a day. So for me, it's tea or hot chocolate or something like that. But when you can actually sit there and inhale and be calm and savor and enjoy, that's when you know that you're not just going through the motions anymore, that you're actually in your life, living it and experiencing it at that exact time. And that's something that a lot of people don't have on a daily basis, because again, we're just so conditioned to constantly be go, go, go. And we don't really think about these tiny moments that make us feel human again, whether it's just, standing in front of the window and letting the sunlight hit your face, or enjoying the cup of coffee, not because you need the caffeine, but because you just want to start your day with something familiar and something comforting, and actually enjoying it rather than, chugging it down in your travel mug as you're driving your kids and, everybody to where they need to be. So it's really enlightening when you start noticing those little moments that are hitting you a little bit different. And once you're aligned that way, it's really hard to look back and say, why was I so caught up in all of the mundane pieces of the day and not enjoying the parts that actually make life worth living, the things that bring us joy and bring us comfort and make us feel like we are who we are and we're right where we're supposed to be in that moment. So when the time came, like I said, I'm pretty sure it was a Sunday, and just everything was clicking. All of a sudden, there was just this quiet confidence, this subtle feeling of clarity that made me think, okay, I'm ready now. I'm ready to step away from the part of me that feels like I have to keep chasing something that isn't necessarily what I want, and instead pursue the thing that I do want, which is the ability and the time to be creative, to express myself, to help other people who are going through the same kind of figuring out who they are challenges. And so life was no longer something that was happening to me. It was something that I was participating in. And it really, it's something that you just have to experience. And I hope that anybody out there listening either has, or throughout, the next few days, weeks, months, will have the opportunity to feel that clarity, to feel that comfort, and to realize that you're finally waking up inside the version of you that you've always been meant to be. So I'll just leave you with this. I didn't wake up to a new life. I woke up to the one that I'd been building without even realizing it. We've got a whole lot more to cover, so I'll see you in the next episode.